Hey Ilya, how you doing today?
Hey Alex, good, good. How are you?
Very good.
Again with another market update for our audience. Thank you for everyone who's been watching our videos.
Right.
So today we're going to talk about some again important topics about some news on interest rate and the real estate market. We're going to focus on the local market a lot. We're going to feature some of the towns that we are working with. So just stay tuned.
Yeah, so the main thing again is the rates, and the Fed had a meeting. They raised the rates 0.25 points, and it is believed, Ilya, that they're gonna raise the rates again for this meeting by 0.25, and I think that's gonna be it for raising the Fed's fund rate. Now we might see this maybe later on in the year. In real estate, as you say, probably at the end of the year, right? We might see some rates drop. Nobody has a crystal ball, but it is believed that we won't be seeing too much push on that side, right? As far as the Fed goes. So let's hope right in. So when is the best time to put the home on the market, Ilya? That's the number one question.
So the best time on the market, as we see from this slide, there are three of most reputable companies that have done the studies about the buyers' activity as well as the number of listings coming on the market and the frequency of how the market is behaving during these months. So this slide tells us that the best time to put the house on the market during this calendar year, right? It's
Right.
always the first part of the year. So from January to June, we've been talking about this many times that this is the best time to put your home on the market because the buyers activity is very strong on the early spring. We have seen this also with our own clients, with our own listings, and also the listings that we have been seeing and watching and visiting, that the real estate market during this time of the year is really strong. So for those that are right now thinking of putting your home on the market, still we have May and June. There are 2 more months that you should put the home on the market and get the maximum results for your property. And if we
Exactly.
see from
Exactly.
July to end of the year, if nothing dramatically changes, because we cannot forecast what might happen in the next 60 days, right? Next
Right.
90 days. But what we see and what we have seen historically, the market might slow down a little bit. When I say slow down, the demand might slow down, right? So,
Right.
but that's another good news because they might create some opportunity for the buyers out there. So
Right.
if you are a buyer and you got frustrated this time of the year or the early spring that your offer wasn't accepted or you were competing with other buyers, you shouldn't make the mistake of coming out of the market right now. So because right
Very
now it
right.
might be your biggest opportunity to get a house and get your offer accepted.
Right. And that answers our next question exactly. So when is the right time to sell and when is the right time to buy, right? If you have a
Yeah.
10-year horizon, the time to buy is always now. But like you said, if you focus and you stay close to your real estate professional, he's gonna give you some good advice on when you have better chances. Like you said, end of the year or maybe November, December. Let's go here to major like forecasts. Ilya, what do we see on this slide and then the doom and gloom that the news are forecasting here, you know?
So this slide shows that some of these companies or some of the news out there that sounds like a bad news or their forecast in reality it doesn't happen, so what you read, what you see out there, it doesn't happen in reality. And actually this slide shows us that the same company like Fannie Mae, that at the beginning of the year or on their March report, they were forecasting that the market is going to go down by 4.2%. They came out
Right.
with a new report in April saying that the market is going to go down by 1.2%. So
Exactly.
again, the best resource for you, if you are a buyer or a seller, will be your local real estate agent. And these are all national news. When you are trying to buy or sell, definitely you need to focus on the local news, and the best
Right.
expert on the local news will be your local real estate agent.
Exactly. Ilya, let's ask you here in the local market. We see it every day, but have we ever seen any decline at all on our listings or on our, any kind of local market? Have you seen any decline in the home prices at all?
No, we actually until now we haven't seen any decline. Actually, we've seen prices to rise. We have seen multiple offers. I mean, there if you see something that you see an adjustment or price reduction, and that tells us that that property, I mean, didn't go down in value. Maybe
Right.
that property wasn't priced right at the very beginning. So we see some of the mistakes that maybe a seller makes or through his real estate agent. They try to sell the property over the fair market value. That actually makes the property stay on the market, and then they decide to reduce the price. But that doesn't say that the market was down. It was just maybe a wrong calculation or a wrong presentation of the property at the very beginning.
Right, right. And I mean, I've heard you firsthand, Ilya, you say to sellers, especially, you tell them you have only one right way to enter the market. I mean, I like that. So tell them a little bit more, like, what does this mean? How do they have only one chance to enter the market?
So always we advise our seller that, hey, you have only one chance to be as new on the market, right? Because as you enter the market, everybody's going to see you. And if your property doesn't sell, then these buyers that are going out on the open houses, making offers, and on Monday, on Tuesday, they're losing on these offers, then they see your property that stays on the market. They can say that, hey, what's wrong about this property? Why this property doesn't sell? So it's
Exactly.
very, very crucial the moment you go to the market. So it's a lot of details there, like about
Right.
the condition of the property, pricing strategy, marketing your
Yeah.
property, maximum exposure. So there are a certain of steps that you should take as a seller through the advice of your real estate agent. So at the moment you enter the market, you didn't make any mistake, you avoid all the mistakes, and if you do all these steps, I can guarantee you that you have maximum result in selling your property.
Exactly, at the shortest time frame. Exactly, very good.
Yeah.
So the next slide here, I mean, the inventory, talking about the inventory, it's very, very tight in our market, but month inventory of home sales. The inventory keeps falling. It is a seller's market. I mean, we can see it here. It's been a seller's market for like years now, actually. When is the
Yeah.
last time you remember really being a buyer's market in Massachusetts?
I'd say maybe 2013, 2000.
Mhm.
I mean, during the recession, definitely during the recession. But I think that after 2012, some of the towns they start becoming a seller's market, especially the towns that they have solid, they hold their property values. Talking like towns, they have their school system is the
Right,
best school system, like Brookline, for example. Or I remember I had a buyer, I think it was 2012, searching for properties in Brookline. And even at the time, there were multiple offers in Brookline. So,
right,
I mean, other towns, they hadn't come out of the foreclosure market. And in Brookline, for example, they started having multiple offers. So, property that is priced right, has high demand, it's always going to be having multiple offers.
right, right. Exactly. Like you said, right? Your financial condition, your economy doesn't match the economy, right? So other markets might be doing bad, but if you buy at the right place, I mean, you're always the good. What is really going on with the foreclosures? What do we see actually in the market, though?
I mean, unfortunately, foreclosures have been, I mean, in real estate market, you're going to see foreclosures here and there. So, because there are, I mean, they were even before the market crash in 2008, 2009, 2010, there were foreclosures. The difference here is the number of foreclosures, right? And
Right,
is
right,
that number is going to affect the real estate market. So I'm very confident that in today, you might see one here, there, maybe a banked on properties for various reasons. But at the same time, that property might be sold at the fair market value, because the
right.
more demand it has, the more value it's going to have for the buyers on the market. And
Exactly.
this is the point. It doesn't
Right,
mean that if it's a foreclosure, it can be sold at a discount price, because when
right.
people think of foreclosures, they're thinking that they will buy something at a discount price, which
Exactly.
doesn't happen all the time. And these numbers
Right,
tell us that, I mean, the 2020, 2021, the number of foreclosures went down. We have a little bit of slight increase on 2022. However, it's under the average number of foreclosure properties is from 2017 to 2019. So this is
Right.
still tells us that the number of foreclosures that might see here and there doesn't affect the market at all.
Exactly. And again, like that's tied to inventory. Some people believe that, when you have a flooding of foreclosures hitting the market, the inventory is going to be a little bit more, going to have more homes on the market. But this is, I mean, these 200,000 homes, it's not a difference to nationally, especially, right? It's not a difference that's going to
Yeah.
actually make a big difference in the inventory. So, okay, again, that's the bigger picture. What's the bigger picture saying about foreclosures, Ilya?
So yeah, this says that the foreclosure filing, went up and then went down again. So as we know during 2008, 2009, we close to 1 million foreclosures filing, and right now we are kind of at the bottom, so we saw the previous slide. So for me, especially for us here in Boston and some of the towns that we work with, the foreclosure market doesn't exist. We don't seen one
Exactly.
foreclosure in 3-4 months, among hundreds of other properties. It's less than 1%, so it
Exactly.
doesn't have
Yeah,
any
exactly.
effect.
Exactly. Now, big talk about recession, and the Fed talked about a mild recession maybe coming up, and recession talks are rising everywhere. But what does a recession actually mean, Ilya? I mean, so first of all, here is again another bigger picture situation. You see, especially for the home prices, the biggest event that happened was in 2008 when the homes lost value, let's say by 20%, if you actually sold and didn't hold the place you had. But overall, what do we see with the home prices during recessions, Ilya?
Yeah, as you mentioned before, the with the Fed's increasing the interest rate again, people are worried about the recession. Which recession? It's not like a housing crash. So recession is a
Right.
slowdown in the economy. But
Exactly.
what this slide shows us that how does the recession affects the real estate market. And in the 6 last recessions that we see here, only twice the real estate market was affected, only 1991 and 2008, when the recession was caused by the real estate market and the mortgage crisis. So the other years, the other recessions, the real estate market went up, so even higher than the average increase of real estate values all across America. So
Right. Right.
again, this shows us that we shouldn't be worried. If the recession comes, unfortunately, we can't prevent that. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that the recession might affect the real estate market on a negative way.
Exactly. And by the way, too, I mean, now around this era, I mean, the banks are more sophisticated, the lending programs, the underwriting, all these things are so much tighter that not anybody gets a loan like back then, right? So it's really hard for something like that to happen because we have a very strong foundation on who gets a loan and the underwriting process. Now, the good news, what are the good news about the buyers here, Ilya?
So again, the recession, it's bad, for the economy, but at the same time, it shows that for the real estate market, the recession may create some opportunities. And one of the opportunities here is that every recession has been followed by decline on interest rate. So
Exactly.
this is a slide shows us in the last 6 recessions that every time we had a recession, the interest rate went down. Like 1980 went down by 4%, like 4%, 81, 5%, and even in our recent recession, 2008, 2020, which was during pandemic, the interest rate went down again. So unfortunately, the recession happens, but at the same time, it creates some opportunities for buyers, and maybe some
Exactly.
people that have a higher interest rate, they might be able to refinance during recession as well.
Exactly, exactly. And we're definitely going through the worst of it. I mean, right now, as far as the interest rates go, so we'll definitely see a lot of people trying to make some moves this half of this year. So the current rate existing in mortgage homes, I mean, this is a very good slide, Ilya. What is the range of mortgage homes and like what kind of interest rates people have? What's the percentage this year?
So there's another slide that shows us that recession might not affect the real estate market because
Right.
the people are having low interest rates in their current mortgages. So 23.6%, they have a rate under 3%. 38%, they have a rate of between 3 and 4%, and 20%, they have a rate between 4 and 5. So the only mortgage holders they have a rate between 5 and 6 and over 6, maybe they are close to less than 20%. So if somebody is going to be worried, maybe it's going to be just the 20% of the market. But
Right.
again, among those, we don't know their financial situation. So those people might not be affected by the upcoming recession that everybody is talking about.
Exactly. Very good. That's another thing that goes hand in hand with people like losing their home. We have so much equity, right? That I mean, absolutely makes no sense for people to sell or like have negative equity. There is so much equity in homes. People things appreciate. I mean, literally the past month appreciated by a lot. We'll see the next slides, but let's talk about like what kind of percentages here, Ilya. So Americans are sitting on tremendous equity. It says here, people that have mortgages greater than 50% equity are 28.9%. People that they have mortgages with less equity than 50% is 32.4%. And then the biggest number here, Ilya, who owns a home that's free and clear? What's the percentage here?
Yeah, it's about 38.7%, almost, I would say close to 50%. So 50% of the Americans that own properties, probably they don't have to worry at all because they don't have a mortgage. And combining those two numbers, that between 38% and 28%, we are close to 60% of all the homeowners in America, which they have over 50% equity. So, I mean, for the market for these people to feel any pressure from the recession or the need to sell their property, I mean, the market has to go down more than 50%, which I don't know. It might go in some areas. In the last recession, we had maybe 3 states that their numbers were bigger, but here in Northeast, here in Massachusetts, in the areas that we work with, I mean, some towns that they experience more going down more, but some other towns that weren't affected, and some towns they went down maybe 5 to 10%. So
Right.
yes, so that this is no worries here.
Exactly. This is, I mean, again, we have the strongest foundation in real estate we've had in years, and this is the great news about people trying to make a move. I mean, like you guys know, right? We do stocks as well at the same time, but there is nothing more stable, nothing safer than investing your money in real estate. I mean, this is a no-brainer, and especially in a good state like here. I mean, the rents are high. We're probably gonna make a new video soon, rightly about rent control. That's another issue that has been raised in a few questions, but equity is really, really high. Now, let's talk about the local market. So let's talk about Brookline, Ilya. What happened in the local market?
Yeah, local market, is still, again, the local market is still strong. I mean, compared to a year ago, despite the bad news, despite the rate increase that we saw within a year. I mean, unit sales in Brookline has been unchanged compared to April of 2022. We see the medium sale price went up by 12%. Despite that, we see an increase in inventory like 44%. And again, we see that because people are listening to their local real estate agent to put their home on the market now in the springtime or early spring or
Exactly.
before the summer. So that's why we see that increase on inventory. I mean, days on the market the number is very low, like 16. If you compare by
Right.
days, it's going to be
Right.
180 days is a balanced market. So 16 days compared to 180 days, we are way, way behind of catching those numbers. Month of supply
Exactly.
is it's been up. I mean, we had some new construction going on, maybe new developments, so that we had some new inventory coming in. And this medium sales price per square foot, says it went down by 21.8%. This depends, again, I mentioned that before. When we have a property that has a lot of square footage compared to an entry-level home, the price per square foot varies because of the size of the property. So the entry-level homes, they sell for more per square foot. The bigger homes, that Brookline has some bigger homes, some multi-million-dollar properties. Those are per square foot they sell little less. But look at this, this is amazing. Medium sale price
Right.
in Brookline, it's $3 million. So I mean, if you look at
Exactly.
those two numbers, that shows us that on the market at this time, there are properties that were over $3-4 million.
Right, right, exactly. Very good. Now let's talk about Medfield because you know this market more than anybody else. So tell them what do we see here?
We are in the Chestnut Hill, but at the same time, we work in the suburb because our clientele is as such that when they are looking to raising families, they want to have children, they're looking for a better school system, more space, they're looking to go into the suburb. And then when they become empty nesters, they want to downsize, they want to come back to the
Exactly.
city. So we
Exactly.
are working with a market coming in and out, from and that's a great benefit because we live in the suburb, we work in the city, we know the local markets, where we know where the schools are, we know the good restaurants are, the attraction,
Right,
the
right.
hiking trails, the biking trails. And Medfield was one of these towns that it provides that quality of life. So, I mean, unit sales went down by 36.4%. Again, we had some new developments in Medfield, new constructions that creates a more inventory. Medium sale price went down. Again, this is happens because more properties are becoming little more expensive. We have more expensive homes got sold. So the bigger homes, more square footage, the price per square foot sometimes it's less. So the
Right,
inventory, went down by 15.4%. Days on the market
right.
again went down by 7.1%. Months of supply, it's only 1 month. So again, we are 100% on the seller's market. So if you are a seller out there and you wanted to sell your property, there won't be a better time than this one to sell your property.
Very good. So let's move on to Westwood. So Westwood is another great city, close to Boston that, you know, if you want to live there, raise a family. So unit sales are up by 8.3%, right? The median sales price is pretty high and is up by a tremendous 34%. So probably, you know, bigger homes enter the market, you know. And then the inventory is again down. You have 19 homes on the market. This is 24% less than last month. Days of the market is about a month and a week, and is up actually by a lot. And probably this is because a few properties didn't sell as they were expected. So 30 days is the average days on the market. Again, like Ilya said, months of supply, 1.5 months. I mean, if something happened, you want to downsize or you want to make a move towards another city, I mean, there is no better time than now to put your home on the market, get top dollar, sell it as fast as you can, and then go invest your money somewhere else to cover your needs. Because honestly, Ilya, like, you know, things change, right? People get a baby, people want to relocate, people want to move. So the best time to make a move, it is the spring market, like we know. And what advice do you have for sellers that they are thinking and they're not sure 100%? Should they put it now? Should they call us, get a consultation? What's the next step for them?
Yeah, definitely now. Definitely now. So if you are a seller, I mean, you should put the property right now on the market. The market is still strong. We saw that it's a seller's market. You have the biggest opportunity right now to get the highest price on the market. However, we are experienced on every situations, on every market. We do a lot of work like preparing your home to go on the market. We have a great pre-marketing strategies before we launch something. We do a lot of work, so just to avoid any mistakes that might happen before you go on the market. So we offer free consultation for all the sellers. We also offer free consultation for all the buyers out there. So if you are an investor, you are a first-time buyer, you are a move-up buyer, you want to downsize, we have worked all these segments of the real estate market. So the advice, now is the best time.
Very good. Thank you, Leon. Thank you guys for staying tuned. And, you know, if you want to share this with
Thank
somebody that
you.
might find some value, feel free to share it.
Thank you.